You thought you were gonna get rid of me, huh? Never. Well, I did YouTube for about a year or something, and I never thought I was gonna go in the footsteps of Demolition D, ER, or VG Cats, that I'm gonna just vanish completely, but hey, shit happened in real life, had shit to do, and League was kinda getting tiresome. But regardless, I'm back, boys, and welcome to my first ever review of Cuphead. Don't deal with the devil. Cuphead is a run-and-gun platformer developed by Studio MDHR Entertainment. Play as Cuphead or Mugman after losing their soul to Pro Syndicate Lottery. After begging and pleading, the devil agrees to return their souls if, in exchange, they can take down all the different cookie creatures that owe him reparations. That's right! Just like the cartoons from the 30s, this game has quite a dark sense of humor, with bosses morphing their bodies' appearances from cute to creepy too. That shit insane, what is this? With the prologue out of the way, let's dive into the real meat, what makes Cupman great, the gameplay. Cuphead has a pretty complex set of controls which could leave any high-profile gaming veteran baffled. Playing the game is incredibly satisfying though, and not once have I felt cheated out of a victory by sloppy controls. Some bad fucking foreground elements though. The hit detection on the enemies and various projectiles they blast at you is also great, making clutch situations super satisfying to get out of. For a boss rush game to succeed, it does not just rely on super tight controls, but also the challenges you need to overcome. And I am incredibly happy to say that the bosses in Cuphead are very good, very memorable, imaginative, and a real challenge, despite some of them being goddamn bitches, I tell you what. If you go into this game thinking it will be a walk in the park, you, sir, are completely mistaken. Cuphead is very punishing, and I fucking love it. You might also want to reconsider buying this game for your young guns, because some of the imagery, like the Clown Prince of Doom of level 2, is gonna mess those kids up, I tell you what. The game gives you only 3 lives at the start of each fight, which makes every move you make count and every mistake punishing, especially if you make dumb mistakes and are just down to 1 life with like 3 more stages of a boss fight to go. As you die, the game gives you a great indication as to how far through the stage of a boss level you were, or how fucking close you were. At no point you feel bored, as the different stages in the boss fights really keep Cuphead from becoming stale. Once you'll be grinding some for the kill until you get to the boom! A satisfying KO pops up on your screen, and the game low-key mocks you by showing you the time, landing around 2 minutes or below that. And I'm not gonna lie, during some fights you'll feel like a tiny twat picking fight with motherfucking kick. But you just gotta get back up, try again. Since after the long marathon, you probably shit your shorts. But you got the goal, baby. At the start of each boss battle, you also have 2 difficulty settings, simple and regular. Simple takes away some moves from the enemy movesets and sometimes entire stages of a boss fight, and even though it lets you move on to the next sections of the map, it does not, however, give you the soul contract from the defeated bosses. You'll also be known as a little bitch, but I have yet to complete the game, so I don't know what happens if you go through it all on simple, but expect not to be able to experience a big deal of content the game has to offer, and I highly recommend manning up and pushing through, or womaning up. Ain't gonna discriminate. You can also parry by clicking the jump button and additional time while airborne. It's used to fill up your super meter and to get you out of difficult situations or complete some of the run and gun maps. Each weapon has a unique special attack, so use them wisely and get to know each one of them, because even though some weapons are super beef and I love them, their super attack is just fucking garbage. You can purchase charms and weapons from the shop. A charm or weapon, although useful, is also never overpowered, but do seem to be better against certain bosses and situations. For example, in World 3's run and gun map, I was stuck at first since I used the default P-pistol and a charge up attack, and I couldn't freaking advance because of annoying enemies on descending platforms, and every time I tried to dodge, it actually dodged into them. But once I switched my weapons over to the water balloon launcher, the agonizingly hard first section of the level was a breeze to go through. That all aside, from one weapon, the friggin' chaser is utter garbage of a weapon. If you want to unlock hard mode, that's the way to play through this game. But that aside, make your decisions on what to buy from the shifty merchant wisely though. He accepts no refunds. Now, what is a good game without something kick-ass to look at and groove to? Next up, we're gonna be looking at art direction and sound design. It's no surprise most people love the art style of Cuphead, as it is quite endearing. I can completely understand why it had as many delays as it did, since every frame of animation was cel animated by the developers to give that authentic 30s cartoon vibe. It borrows heavily from that era of animation, and even if this game would have been great gameplay wise had it used any other art style, the choice to go this route really lends itself being instantaneously recognizable by almost all of the gaming community, with its rounded edges and the constant need for characters to do half squats for some reason. The current indie standard of making 8-bit characters is getting a little too stale for me, and while I'd love this to become the next big trend in the industry, realistically I don't think it will happen due to the work required to make a game like this. The animation has that little something which is missing from AAA games. That is charm. This is a world I wish to explore with characters I want to meet and monsters I want to fight, only to see the creative ways they transform and fight in the next stage of our battle. And goddamn color, look at this. Why do all the fucking worlds I explore nowadays need to be either shit brown or cinder block gray? What? I have a theory that the color selection in modern games is directly extracted from the zombified programs of big companies like EA and Ubisoft. I think the Rick and Morty episode is the best example how they do it, but instead of taking all the happy memories, they take all the bullshit memories where they wait for their soapy filtered embrace of death. Anyway, let's go over to the sound. The sound direction is also top-notch, rocking that sweet jazzy tunes of the time. But you can be sure the fandom will be crying how they're born in the wrong generation soon enough because they've always loved some knee-slapping jazz. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Each boss's theme is unique, and while it may be my mind playing tricks on me, it feels like the bosses move to their respective theme songs. My current favorites of the bunch are the song from Grim Matchstick, Cagney Carnation, and the super secret, well not really, but Quadruple Barbershop Brothers song, which I'm not gonna spoil for you right now, but trust me, it's great with a nice message to the player, and it's bound to put a smile on your face once you hear the lyrics. I just purchased the soundtrack, so I need to listen to it a bit more because there are a ton of tracks there, but those stick out the most for me personally right now. So if you want to tell me your favorites, please do so in the comment section below. All in all, I have absolutely no gripes with the sound design. Everything feels in place and made with love and care, while some people do seem to have a problem with Cuphead's pea shooter. I understand what they mean, but disagree. They argue that the shots need to be beefier, but since it would take away from the sound cues and the great music, I'd like it to be kept in the background as it is, since it would most likely become intrusive at some point. But that's just my preference. We can all get along and have our opinions on the internet, right? Right?
What do you know about it? Nothing!
As our video is coming to an end, let's go over the pros and cons of the game, giving a condensed look and my final score with a recommendation to either catch it or trash the game. Let's start with the pros. The optimization is great. The game runs smoothly, 60 FPS, no matter how much I strained it with a bunch of programs and projects I had up. The game has a lovely art style, instantly recognizable, everybody loves it, nothing else like this on the market, great. Control and gameplay is polished and tight. Even though some fucking schmuck can't get out of the tutorial zone, does not mean it doesn't control like butter. He's just an asshole. The sound, fights feel impactful and soundtracks memorable. You remember the small sound cues? Boss variation, the bosses are varied and no two fights really feel nor look alike. Well, they definitely don't look alike. They also never over exceed their welcome. If you're good at the game, a complete fight can last well below 2 minutes, so getting better is key. The difficulty curve in this game is also great. It gradually builds you up for better bosses, and once you go back to defeat the old ones, they are usually a breeze, with the exception of like 1 or 2 bosses that I can remember that are just awful because of, well, yeah, well, we're gonna get to that soon. The charm and color, simply unparalleled by anything on the market right now. The game oozes personality with its watercolor backgrounds and map with cel animated bosses and enemies. Now we get to the cons. Keep in mind, these are really nitpicky, but no game is perfect, and I still need to point out a few flaws it does have, so there could be a little more to do outside the boss battles. Most of the NPCs just give you a generic like guide or something, but I kinda wish there were even more secrets, maybe even secret boss battles and such. I understand why it's hard to put those in, because it does take a lot of effort, but please, more random encounters and more secrets in the next Cuphead 2, please. Shooting straight up. Now, this might be a deliberate design choice, but I did notice if you shoot your P-gun straight above your head, the hitbox of it is a little bit tinier than if you did it horizontally, so one should be beware of this and kind of get used to that, otherwise you might get blown the fuck up. So there's no online co-op either, which kind of sucks because I don't have a lot of friends. Well, what I mean is I don't have a lot of friends in real life who want to play a game as hard as Cuphead, so I gotta go to the wilderness of the internet. But I understand why they didn't include it, because they are obviously not really, you know, if you can't make something well, there's no point really making it, or at least not implementing it, otherwise it would just drag the game down. Okay, this is not my opinion, but a lot of people also complain that the run and gun as well as the playing sections take you out of the main game, which some people might be okay with. I'm okay with that, but I can completely see it, because when I did try to beat some of the airplane missions and went back to the main game, I did feel like my skill had deteriorated by then, so it was kind of hard getting back into there, or, you know, get good in the airplane sections, because you just didn't get enough practice usually, unless you just died over and over and over. And please make it stop. So, all in all, there's not a lot of cons to this game. Cuphead is one of the best games to come out this year, where there have already been some amazing fucking games, which I might or might not make a video of. If you think you'll enjoy a challenging but fair game with great visuals and sound, or know a friend who would appreciate it, please buy it. I wish the game and the studio behind Cuphead to receive all the praise and support they deserve. For this, I am giving Cuphead Don't Deal with the Devil 9.2 out of 10. A game deserving of all the praise it can get, and a recommendation to cash it, not trash it. No, no, no. Thank you so much for watching my first of many reviews. If this is the type of content you would wish to see more of in the future, please let me know in the comments, because I am so new to editing, so new to writing scripts, and very bad at reading off of those scripts, because a lot of this shit that I said here is just like, I had this very wooden script in front of me, and I kinda just improvised most of the time, so, and I bet you guys can tell. But next up is going to be a long look at Guild Wars 2 and hopefully Divinity Original Sin 2. I'm really new to all of this, but I think it should be fine. If you have any comments, anything to say, or you just really enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and I would like to see you again next time. But before I go, I would like to give a shout out. You know who you are on my channel. I haven't uploaded in such a long while, and you guys have still been commenting, and I know this video needed more Teemo. Maybe next time. So, thanks a lot for supporting me, even though I'm not a huge YouTuber, or never was, so. Have a wonderful day, guys. And let us meet again next time. Peace.